Tonight's stock market whiplash, the wild day on Wall Street as President Trump threatens more tariffs. The market's going to extremes, swinging between highs and lows today as President Trump says he'll slap more tariffs on China. And the White House claims world leaders are coming to the negotiating table. Now, titans of business are speaking out against his plans. How the president is reacting tonight. Rescue and recovery, the record-breaking floods down south, communities swallowed up by as much as 6 feet of water. Hotel guests in Kentucky evacuated by boat. And new fears the number of people killed will rise. Measles death toll grows, another child dead from that Texas outbreak, and the controversial visit by RFK Jr. to the funeral. What he's saying now about the safety of the vaccine. Deadly ambush mistake, new video of the moment Israeli forces opened fire on emergency workers in Gaza, killing 15 of them. How these images contradict the story Israel had originally told. Melatonin in daycare? The child care center's under fire for giving kids melatonin to sleep without their parents' permission. Vicki Nguyen is in the house tonight. She's investigating this one. And the bumbling bandit, the robber who couldn't shoot straight, toppling over, then running off with beer. Why police need your help tonight in finding him. Plus, we take you inside a government storage facility hundreds of feet below ground. Why millions of Americans' records are stored there and how it's all about to change. Top story starts right now. And good evening. Tonight, we are starting with the roller coaster on Wall Street as investors ride yet another turbulent day fueled by the president's trade war. Take a look at the closing numbers. The Dow down just under a percentage point after swinging more than 2,500 points from low to high throughout the day. The S&P 500 dropped 0.3%, but briefly entered bear market territory during the session. And the Nasdaq edged up to 1%. Here's a closer look at the S&P 500 throughout the day. You can see those dramatic swings. You'll notice that peak just before 10:30 this morning. Look at that right there. That was over false reports the White House would pause tariffs for 90 days. This evening, notable business leaders and billionaires seemingly breaking ranks with the president as he presses on with his tariff crusade. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, calling for more free trade between the U.S. and EU as he continues to lose billions. CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, releasing a shareholders letter with an ominous warning about the economy. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, a staunch ally of the president, going on a social media tirade against the tariffs. And BlackRock CEO Larry Fink predicting the markets nosedive even more. On what they all had to say in a moment, we're going to have that. Right now, the anxiety on Wall Street is sending shockwaves around the world. And for now, the president is showing no signs of letting up. We have a lot to get to tonight. We want to start with NBC senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez.
After a roller coaster day on Wall Street, tonight President Trump is doubling down.
We cannot be taken advantage of any longer.
Now threatening even bigger tariffs on imports from China, 50%, if the country does not revoke its retaliatory tariffs on American products sold there.
I have great respect for China, but they can't do this. When countries don't allow us to sell our product, but we allow them to sell their product, those days are over.
The Dow swinging 2,600 points, the most in one day ever, finally closing down more than 300 points. The Nasdaq up slightly. Markets had plummeted this morning. The S&P 500 at one point gaining back $2.4 trillion in market value because of an incorrect report that the president was considering pausing some tariffs.
We're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us.
At least 50 countries, the administration says.
I see a beautiful picture at the end. It's the only chance we're going to have to reset the table on trade. And when we do, we're going to come out unbelievably well. We're going to have a strong country economically again.
Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu became the first world leader to lobby the president in person after he slapped all countries with a baseline tariff of 10%, with many charged much more. Israel hit with 17%.
We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly.
The European Union is offering to slash tariffs on American-made cars and industrial products, even as it considers retaliatory measures of its own.
Europe is always ready for a good deal, so we keep it on the table.
Meanwhile, the White House is brushing off criticism from Democrats over the president playing golf in Florida over the weekend, as Americans worried about their retirement savings.
President Trump, find a way to put down the golf clubs and pick up the papers, the financial papers. Take a real look at what's going on here, because it's anything but great.
Even key Trump ally, Senator Ted Cruz, is warning Republicans.
If we go into a recession, particularly a bad recession, 2026 in all likelihood politically would be a bloodbath.
But many Republicans are still backing the president's efforts to boost American businesses.
I appreciate what the president is doing on tariffs, specifically in our home state of Wyoming. In terms of beef, the cattle producers, They're saying it is about time.
Auto worker and union member Chris Vitale supports the president's plan. He thinks it'll help create manufacturing jobs in the U.S. and that the market volatility will be worth it.
This is just something to ride out. Trump's been consistent with a message for 40 years about the importance of a manufacturing base in a first world superpower country. Needs to have that.
But in Florida, Emily Lay owns a small paper products company that imports heavily from China. She's now suing the Trump administration and expects to pay more than $600,000 in tariffs over the next year. Is this sustainable?
Absolutely not. I think what's happening is we're seeing ourselves being used as checker pieces in an international trade war board game.
Gabe Gutierrez joins us tonight from the White House. Gabe, the president was answering questions during that meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. I know you have some new reporting on that meeting.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. President Trump said that the U.S. will hold direct talks with Iran on Saturday to discuss a new nuclear deal, saying Iran will be in, quote, great danger if the talks don't succeed. He pulled out of the last deal in 2018, and negotiators from the two countries have not met face-to-face in a decade. Tom?
Gabe Gutierrez with that new reporting from the White House. Gabe, we thank you. We want to bring it now back to the markets and where they could be headed, what investors should expect. I want to bring in our good friend Andrew Ross Sorkin, New York Times columnist, author, and, of course, the co-anchor of Squawk Box on CNBC, a very busy guy. Andrew, everyone's asking the same question. What's going on? My question is it's a little more precise, is what happened today, right? I was watching CNBC Live. The market was down. It started to pick back up. There was some false reporting. Then it went back down. It was a whiplash. Were people buying the dip? I mean, what are the cliff notes on what happened today?
So there was a rumor that went around that there might be a 90-day moratorium pause on these tariffs. And on the back of that news...
And traders were getting that before you guys did, because your anchors were like, wait, what's going on? And then...
And on the back of that news, which, by the way, was wrong.
Right.
But on the back of that news, the market started to trade up, which is an indication of if, in fact, deals are made, potentially, or a pause is put into effect, that perhaps the market would benefit from that.
Yeah.
Of course, that rumor was a rumor, and that's all it was. The White House said it wasn't true. The White House vehemently said that they would not be putting a pause in place. And, of course, the market went back down again.
Right. So CEOs, even those who have supported President Trump, are starting to express concern. Here is a soundbite with BlackRock CEO Larry Fink about the possibility of a recession. Let's listen.
Are we headed for a recession? Are we in a recession?
Most CEOs I talk to would say we are probably in a recession right now.
Right now?
Right now.
For reference, you need at least 2 quarters, right, for a recession to happen. We're not there quite yet. Chairman and CEO of J.P. Morgan as well in this letter, telling shareholders, right, the recent tariffs will likely increase inflation and are causing many to consider a greater possibility of recession. And hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, someone you know really well, writing on X in part that if President Trump does not change course on tariffs, we are headed for a self-induced economic nuclear winter, and we should start hunkering down. Listen, I'm skeptical. I'm not cynical of all these CEOs, especially of Bill, because he's used Twitter and CNBC to his advantage at times, right? Are they being serious, though? Are they truly concerned, do you think?
Oh, I can tell you that most CEOs I talk to, actually much bigger name CEOs than the ones that you just talked about, are afraid, deeply afraid of what is going on right now. I mean, the freak out happening.
Economic nuclear winter, is that
the
really
freak out happening inside the corner office of corporate America is absolutely huge. Most of them just don't want to say it aloud, because the truth is This has created an enormous amount of uncertainty, and none of them are going to be making investments. None of them are going to be spending the kind of money they were planning on spending.
Yeah.
None of them are going to be hiring people the way they were planning to. I mean, it just puts a chill on everything.
Some investors like Warren Buffett have sort of dialed it back for a while. $300 billion in cash he's sitting on. We haven't had a correction in a while.
Right.
Is this that, or is this all Trump's doing?
Oh, goodness. I think it's impossible. You know, usually you look every day and you can give 5 reasons why the market did what it did. Yeah. This is a man-made disaster that came from a particular decision that we can pinpoint, that everybody can look at.
But was the market too high to begin with? Were valuations?
It may be. Look, maybe the market was, 2 or 3% off and was too high. There's no question. That's a possibility. I think the question today, though, is a different one, which is if you're trying to reorder the global economy, what happens to all of these American businesses? What are their cost structures going to look like in the future? If they're Apple, if they're Apple and they have to bring phones over and the phones now cost 50% more, that's a problem. If you're a car maker and you have to bring the car over or even pieces of the car over, that's a problem. Everything is just not what it was a week ago.
So the market likes to predict the future. They hope to predict the future.
Yep.
What would you tell people who just have 401ks, people who are working hard, saving up in their 401ks, and they're starting to freak out a little bit? You should always stay long in the market. That's always the advice. What is different about this moment, or is the advice the same?
Well, the difference with this moment is that, in a way, it could be solved with a tweet one afternoon. We don't know. Because, as I said, it's a man-made situation.
And that's what we saw today, live on your air.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to know what's going to happen next. If Trump holds firm, and he seems to want to hold firm because he thinks that he has a stronger negotiating hand, and it's unclear whether he even wants to negotiate. Part of this, if you believe what he says, is he wants to bring manufacturing back to America. The only way that's ever going to happen is if he holds firm, because no CEO in America is going to say, you know what, I'm going to spend billions of dollars to build my factory, which isn't going to be available to me for 3 to 5 years, unless I believe that this policy is here to stay.
When you talk to those CEOs, is there a concern that he doesn't have to run for re-election so he can do quite literally anything he wants?
I think that's a possibility. I mean, people talk about that. I think they're not sure right now what this is really about. Is it about bringing manufacturing back? Is it about bringing in tax revenue in the form of tariff revenue? Well, that's different, because then you'd want everybody doing their business outside of the country, and you'd be taxing them on the way in. Is this about negotiating with other countries for lower tariffs? There's sort of 3 ways to win or to lose, depending on how you look at it.
And no one's really clear.
And nobody really knows.
Andrew Ross Sorkin, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, tonight we're going to turn now to the other big story we're following. The urgent rescues still underway as heavy rains and flash floods hit the Midwest and South. Days of severe weather turning deadly, killing at least 21 people and setting records for rainfall. Maggie Vespa reports tonight from hard-hit Tennessee.
Tonight, a slow-motion disaster as widespread flooding swallows more communities across America's Midwest and South.
6 foot of water. This is not standing Tennessee water. This is 6 foot of water.
Late today, authorities in Arkansas and Kentucky announcing 3 more deaths, including a 27-year-old man swept away by floodwaters Sunday, making for 24 people killed by severe weather in the last week. Among them, 9-year-old Gabriel Andrews, also caught in a flash flood while walking to his school bus. Tonight, rescues stacking up. The state of Kentucky getting well over 15 inches of rain in 4 days, a new record.
Remember, this event is not over until the waters have receded.
Some already facing that aftermath.
It's hard, but we're managing. We're okay. You okay? I'm okay. I'm okay.
Shaquana Hart escaped her Hopkinsville home swimming through chest-high floodwater Friday. This is the mom of 4's first time back.
What's the first thing you noticed? The damage. Just memories. It's material things. I still have my kids. They're alive.
Devastation in a region already exhausted by days of deadly storms and tornadoes. Dawson Springs, Kentucky, today still largely underwater. The police chief showing us the worst of it.
How exhausted are people here?
Very. They're very exhausted, and our community needs help.
Maggie Vespa joins us tonight from Clarksville, Tennessee. Maggie, we can still see that flooding there behind you. Talk to me about the federal response. We know it's getting some attention today.
Yeah, this was an interesting dichotomy today. To kind of set the stage, Tom, President Trump, for what it's worth, has signed emergency declarations in several states, including here in Tennessee. You can see how bad this is. Also in Kentucky. Now, today, Kentucky's governor said at that press conference you saw in the piece that the Trump administration, his words, has been very responsive. But he also, at that same press conference, blasted recent cuts to the National Weather Service made by that same administration, saying, quote, they save so many lives. So really straddling that line as this disaster plays out. Tom.
All right, Maggie Vespa and her team covering that devastation there down south. Maggie, we thank you for that. In Texas, growing alarm after a second unvaccinated child died from the measles. The Lone Star State seen nearly 500 cases as the virus spreads to neighboring states. Yesterday, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making a visit to the area and addressing the outbreak. And tonight, there are even more counties that are talking about this outbreak in Texas. NBC's Priscilla Thompson has more.
At the epicenter of the measles outbreak in West Texas tonight, there's increasing worry. Does the mood feel more urgent today?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels more urgent, and we need to really double down.
After this somber scene Sunday, when funeral services were held for the unvaccinated 8-year-old girl who died from the virus, officials say, and had no underlying conditions. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the ground, meeting with families whose unvaccinated children have died. Kennedy, a vaccine skeptic who has recently downplayed measles risk, later posting the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine. More than 600 people have been infected with the rapidly spreading virus nationwide this year, including nearly 500 in Texas alone.
Shake, shake, shake. You want to shake it?
Lena Scaff, who runs 5 early learning centers across the Lubbock area, thinks this will be a wake-up call.
What it may have done is maybe made people say, oh, this is really real. Yeah. And this is not just going to go away.
Megan Messick, the co-owner of this daycare where 6 kids have been sickened, says more help is needed.
I've had parents having to go to 3 to 4 different medical practices just to get tested. We need quick and accessible access to testing.
I mean, it would be great if you could have some kind of, rapid test. I mean, that was a game changer with COVID.
But it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Priscilla Thompson joins us tonight from Lubbock, Texas. So, Priscilla, we're learning late today, Texas now adding 5 new counties to the outbreak?
That's right, Tom. 5 new counties, bringing the total to 10. So clearly this is expanding. It's getting worse. I just spoke to the public health director here, and she says that a lot of times after something like this happens with a death happening, they will see an uptick in vaccinations. So they're really hoping that that will happen, because she says if children who are not vaccinated do not get that vaccine, the only other option is to build this community immunity, and that would mean more children getting sick and potentially more children dying here.
Yeah, that's
Tom?
what nobody wants. All right, Priscilla, we thank you for that. When we return, the daycare warning. The child care centers accused of giving kids melatonin without telling their parents. Vicki Wynn investigates. Plus, NBC News exclusive, the family of this hairstylist deported to an El Salvadorian prison speaks out why they say there is no way he's a gang member. And we're going hundreds of feet below the surface of the earth to the government filing center about to get a major tech upgrade. Stay with us. We are back now with parents sounding the alarm about melatonin in daycare. The lack of regulation around the supplement has some families concerned about it used during nap time, with some parents learning their kids were given the supplement without their consent. NBC's Vicki Wynn has this report.
When Laura Putnam enrolled her 1- and 2-year-old sons at Apple Blossom Childcare in Falmouth, Maine, she never thought they'd be given melatonin supplements. They mimic a hormone that makes you sleepy.
Have you ever given your children melatonin?
No.
Have you ever given anyone else permission to give melatonin to your children?
No.
But last August, Putnam says she learned from a former daycare employee that he and others had been giving children, including her older son, then 4 years old, melatonin gummies. Conversations between that employee and the daycare owner documented in these texts. So she asked her older son.
He said, oh, it makes the babies go, and then he made a snoring sound. And he told me he got them when he was younger and they made him very sleepy. And then I asked if his younger brother got them, and he looked at me and said, yes. And I said, how often does he get them? And he said, every day.
What did your younger son say when he saw a photo of a bottle of the gummies?
He immediately saw it and said, and then he inserted the name of the daycare provider.
In Maine, it's not illegal to give melatonin to kids, but daycares need written parent permission to do it. Maine's Department of Health and Human Services launched an investigation looking into abuse, neglect, and licensing violations. 4 months later, Putnam says she was informed her older son was a victim of abuse and neglect.
I think I felt that, I let my kids down.
Lindsay Corcoran says her daughter was also at the daycare from age 1 to almost 4. And she also learned from the former employee that her daughter received melatonin, too.
At first, I was shocked to see her name and that there was this substance given to her without my consent.
But last month, DHHS overturned its findings of abuse and neglect after an appeal. Daycare owner Allison Lakin saying in part to NBC, Apple Blossom Childcare has earned and enjoyed an impeccable reputation for years, which has been and always will be based on conscientious care. She's also appealing the findings that she violated daycare licensing rules.
When you look at the decision right now, what goes through your mind?
Again, it's maddening. It's nonsensical. How is giving a nonverbal toddler melatonin in the middle of the day without parental consent not abuse or neglect? That just doesn't make any sense in my mind.
Researchers say melatonin use is on the rise in kids. While parents should consult a doctor, pediatrician Rebecca Fisk doesn't recommend melatonin use in kids under 5.
We have no long-term studies on what is going on with melatonin in children, especially that young. We don't know what it does to growth and development.
Is there any place for a melatonin supplement in a daycare?
Not at all. Not at all.
Just last year, childcare staff in New Hampshire, Washington, and Indiana made headlines for giving melatonin to children. One daycare director sentenced to 6 months in jail.
We need to protect kids, and parents need to be informed.
Maine State Senator Teresa Peirce is introducing a bill that would require daycare operators to notify parents if their center is under investigation.
So what happens now is if there's an investigation at a daycare, other parents with children there have no way of knowing?
Correct. So it would be through rumor or through other parents telling them, but there's no official notification of that.
The moms say they want stiffer penalties, and until then, parents need to know what can happen.
I would like to see some repercussions for mistreating children, and I don't feel like that has happened in my case.
I feel like I put a lot of trust in sending my children to this daycare. We lost a lot of trust in the end. And I don't want that to have to happen to any other families, to children.
All right, Vicki joins us now in studio. So, Vicki, I mean, this is sort of a tough question, right? Because you're dealing with toddlers and babies. How do you know if your child's going to a daycare where they're giving them melatonin?
It is so tough to detect, obviously, Tom. That's why these moms feel so bad. They didn't know for months that their kids were getting these gummies. So here's what I would say. Talk to your children. Ask them. What do they receive at nap time? Ask them the kinds of snacks and foods that they are getting. And here's another red flag. If your child doesn't sleep on the weekends, but you're hearing every day they're going down for 2 hours at the daycare, something might be wrong. Here's what I'd also say. Make sure there's a written record of the medicines and over-the-counter supplements that you do approve. If your child is feeling bad, you probably are okay with them getting a children's Tylenol or some Motrin, right? So you want to talk to the daycare owner, but also ask your kids.
Real quick, what are some of the sort of best practices when finding and picking a daycare?
Word of mouth referrals, do your research on the reviews, and look up that daycare with the state licensing agency. Check for violations or any investigations that are underway.
What websites usually are those, the state license?
So
just go to your
every
state
is
gov.
different, but it probably is going to be under Department of Health and Human Services, or just look up daycare licensing in your state, and it'll lead you to the right .gov address. And just make sure if you feel something is wrong, investigate. Listen to your gut as a parent.
Vicki Nguyen, great story. We appreciate that. Thanks for being here. When we return, the Supreme Court weighs in. The order's late today in the case of that Maryland man mistakenly deported to an El Salvador prison. And runway missed, the small plane that skidded off the runway and landed in the harbor. How everyone on board survived and was rescued. That's next. Okay, back down with top stories newsfeed, starting off with a small plane crashing into a bay off the coast of southern Oregon. The aircraft carrying 4 passengers and 1 crew member skidded off the runway while landing, sending it into the water. All 5 on board rescued and transported to the hospital. The airport shutting down air traffic on its main runway while an investigation is underway. Terrifying new video showing the moment a train collided with a semi-truck in Minnesota about 2 hours from the Iowa border. Dashcam video shows a freight train splitting the truck in half. Look at this as it turned onto a railroad crossing over the weekend. Luckily, both the truck driver and train operator escaped with minor injuries. Local authorities warning drivers after the crash to take extra precaution before proceeding through a railroad crossing. Today, a California federal judge is hearing final arguments in a historic $2.8 billion NCAA settlement. The arrangement would allow Division I schools to start directly paying student athletes for using their name, images, and likeness. This would begin July 1st, with schools given about $20 million each to pay athletes. The settlement also entitles former athletes to damages who played sports between 2016 and 2024, when the NCAA had restrictions on NIL activities. Okay, Houston police searching for a clumsy convenience store robber. It happened back in January, but we're just now getting a look at the video. And take a look at this. Surveillance footage shows the man attempting to grab a handgun from his waistband, but falling to the ground with the gun then slipping out of his pants. He then tries and fails to demand cash from the register, shooting some soda cans in frustration, eventually fleeing. He did get away, but just with a case of beer. Police are now asking the public for help to identify the suspect. Okay, we turn now to some serious news and some breaking news just out of the Supreme Court. The conservative majority tonight ruling that the Trump administration can enforce the Alien Enemies Act, which it had been using to rapidly deport suspected Venezuelan gang members. This ruling overturns a lower court order that temporarily blocked deportations under the law. Before that earlier freeze, several people say they were deported by mistake, including one Maryland man who was sent to one of El Salvador's mega prisons due to what ISIS called administrative error. The Supreme Court weighing in on his case tonight as well. Tom Costello explains.
In a late victory for the Trump administration, the Supreme Court today paused for now a lower court order that Kilmar Abrego Garcia must be brought back to the U.S. by tonight. The administration acknowledges an administrative error was behind ICE agents mistakenly deporting Garcia to a notorious prison in El Salvador during a roundup of alleged gang members.
ICE has testified, members of ICE, that he is an MS-13 gang member.
Court documents show Garcia entered the U.S. illegally in 2011 and was later detained. A government informant identified him as a member of the violent MS-13 gang. Abrego Garcia's attorney denies he's a gang member. An immigration court ordered him deported, but withheld deportation to his home country, El Salvador, citing threats to his life there. Now his wife is desperate to bring him home.
I want to tell him that I miss him and that I'm fighting for him.
Earlier today, an appeals court ruled against the administration, writing the government has no legal authority to remove him from the country without due process. But then the Supreme Court issued a stay as it considers whether to vacate or uphold the return order.
It's ridiculous that they're taking this case up to the Supreme Court. This is one guy. They made a mistake. They need to set it right.
Tom Costello, NBC News.
The family of another man sent to that mega prison, a makeup artist who fled Venezuela as he faced discrimination for being gay, speaking out exclusively to NBC News. While ICE says his tattoos are proof he is a gang member, his family and friends say the ink tells a very different story. David Noriega has this report.
Tonight, a mother in Venezuela speaks out against the deportation and imprisonment of her son, saying she hasn't heard from him in weeks, and she cries wondering about his fate. Andri Hernandez Romero was among the 238 Venezuelans deported without court hearings under the Alien Enemies Act to an infamous mega prison in El Salvador.
So this is a young man that I had followed.
60 Minutes identified Hernandez in these photos taken by an American journalist. Records filed in court by his attorneys show that he had no known criminal record when he entered the U.S. last year to seek asylum over what he described as discrimination for his sexual orientation. However, ICE officials indicated that they suspected him of belonging to a Venezuelan gang solely because of these tattoos. An officer writing, the crown has been found to be an identifier for a Tren de Aragua gang member. But experts say Tren de Aragua does not use tattoos as markers of membership.
Una bella persona.
And Hernandez's family says his tattoos have an innocent explanation. Hernandez is from a small town with a century-old tradition of staging an elaborate festival for Three Kings Day. Reina Cárdenas is his close childhood friend.
Él es un artista.
She says the festival awakened Hernandez's interest in theater, beauty, and fashion. He often designed costumes and did makeup in addition to acting in the festivities. His tattoos of crowns, she says, are a reference to the Three Kings. Later, Hernandez worked as a makeup artist for a state-run TV station in Caracas, where, according to his lawyers, he suffered discrimination for his identity as a gay man.
Eso nos preocupa inmensamente, de verdad.
His family says the treatment he might receive in prison over his sexual orientation keeps them up at night. The White House did not respond to our request for comment. On X, a DHS spokesperson said Hernandez's social media indicates he's a gang member, but she didn't reference any specific posts, and we found no indication of gang activity on his socials. As attention on the case grows, support for Hernandez coming from some unexpected places, including podcaster Joe Rogan.
Again, that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs. Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
Señor Dios Todopoderoso.
Residents of Hernandez's hometown holding regular vigils to call for his release, many wearing paper crowns.
David Noriega joins us tonight from Los Angeles. So, with his family in Venezuela, who is working on Mr. Hernandez's behalf to get him if the administration can't prove he's a gang member?
Well, Tom, Hernandez already had a pro bono immigration lawyer when he was in immigration detention here in the United States before he was removed to El Salvador. That's actually the way that the family found out he had been deported to this mega prison in the first place, because he didn't show up to a hearing in his asylum case. Now, I've spoken to his immigration lawyers, and they say that they're pursuing multiple legal avenues to try and get him out of that prison. But they say this is a legally unprecedented situation. Never before has the U.S. deported people to third countries under the Alien Enemies Act. They have no access to him in this facility, and they say it's not even clear which court has jurisdiction over his case. Tom?
Okay, David Noriega, it's so complicated. We appreciate all of it. Back here at home, Pennsylvania, hundreds of feet beneath the ground, lies an old limestone mine filled with decades of retirement records, all on paper. And tonight we're getting exclusive access inside this mine, now the target of a major DOGE project to upgrade the system. NBC's Garrett Haig went inside.
Buried deep inside this mine in western Pennsylvania is a little-known government office that handles a critical mission for the federal workforce, now set to be overhauled by the Department of Government Efficiency.
From the mine entrance, which they call the portal, we took some golf carts a few hundred feet down into the mine. You can feel the air change when you get inside, and you can see this is all just roughly cut out of the limestone. This was once a limestone mine. And down here, this is where we find the OPM office, where a few hundred federal employees process all retirement paperwork for the entire federal government.
It's an analog operation, all done on paper. It can take months for the Office of Personnel Management to process a case, potentially delaying retiree benefits.
The facility has literally miles of files, some 26,000 filing cabinets filled with retirement paperwork, some of them stacked 10 high.
Matt McIsaac runs the day-to-day operations inside.
When you look out over all of this, what do you see?
I see people. I see careers. I see service.
I'm like, what do you mean a mine?
When Elon Musk brought up the mine in an Oval Office appearance back in February as a target ripe for reform, McIsaac agreed.
He's right. We have to improve the way that we do things for the federal employees and for the American public.
Musk asked billionaire Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia to take on the project of modernizing not just the mine's operation, but the entire retirement system.
When you look at a project like this, where do you even start?
Well, how about here on file cabinet 56?
Gebbia says DOGE engineers are working to create a fully digital experience, with federal retirees the hopeful, happy customers.
Why can't we have an Apple Store-like experience in the government, where you have great user experience, beautiful design, and up-to-date software?
Aiming to upgrade a process long seemingly set in stone. Garrett Haig, NBC News, Boyers, Pennsylvania.
All right, we thank Garrett for that one. Now to Global Watch. And tonight, Israel says it is investigating the killing of 15 Palestinian rescue workers at the hands of its soldiers after video of the incident recovered from the cell phone of one of the men who was killed directly contradicted Israel's initial version of events. NBC's Matt Bradley has this report and a warning. Some of this footage is disturbing.
Tonight, Israel is doing damage control, pushing ahead with an investigation into the killings of 15 Palestinian rescue workers in late March at the hands of Israeli soldiers. As the Jewish state faces increasing pressure to allow for an independent investigation into the controversial deaths, Israel has had to walk back its initial account of the deadly incident after cell phone video that the Palestine Red Crescent said it found on one of the slain men contradicted its earlier version of events. The IDF had said its soldiers opened fire on vehicles that were advancing suspiciously towards them without warning and without emergency signals. But the new cell phone video shows emergency workers rushing towards a stranded vehicle with their lights on and donning their uniforms. Israel now calling its initial characterization a mistake. Within just seconds, Israeli forces open fire. The camera crashes to the ground. For nearly 5 minutes, it records some of the men's last words. Mom, forgive me. This is the path I chose to help people. And prayers. Until more Israeli soldiers arrive. That footage recovered along with the men's bodies, the Red Crescent says, in a shallow mass grave, where their crushed ambulances were also buried. This surviving medic, Munzar Jihad Nafazabad, saying he was stripped of his clothes and interrogated by one soldier. Abad saying he hit me with his arms, spat on me, insulted me with offensive words. Finally, he threw me on the ground and placed the M16 at the point of my neck, threatening to kill me. Abad said he witnessed the soldiers burying the dead medics and their vehicles with an earth mover. The IDF said the soldiers covered the corpses to prevent them from being eaten by wild animals. Ibrahim Al-Qas, a Palestinian medic, was among the group that made the grisly discovery. Unfortunately, they were executed in close proximity in a brutal manner, he said. The Israeli government today still saying its soldiers killed Hamas terrorists in the incident, but providing no evidence.
Hamas have on many occasions, many documented occasions, used ambulances as a cover. What sort of cover? To transport terrorists, to escape from Israel's forces, abusing the very notion of emergency services.
The White House backing up that sentiment, saying it holds Hamas entirely responsible for the emergency workers' deaths. Nafla Nasasra says her husband Assad was among rescue workers who went missing that day. Unlike the others, his body hasn't been found. I was relieved that he wasn't with them, but I was worried because I don't know his fate, alive or dead, she said. As we say, he was the pillar of the house. He took care of us.
And with that, Matt Bradley joins us tonight from Tel Aviv. Matt, in addition to this story that you've been reporting on out of Gaza, there's another killing that's making headlines as well. It involves Israeli soldiers and an American teenager. It's now getting scrutiny in the West Bank. What can you tell our viewers?
That's right, Omar Rabia. He was 14 years old. He was killed last night along with two of his friends who were both severely injured. Those two also teenagers, also Palestinian Americans. Now, the one boy, Omar Rabia, his funeral was held today in the town of Tormos Aya, where he was killed. It was very, very emotional. We heard from the IDF this morning. They explained the situation. They said that the three boys had been seen throwing rocks at motorists who were driving by. The IDF said that they had to shoot them because these three teenage boys posed a threat to the safety of the motorists who were driving on the roads nearby. So that is the explanation from the IDF. Obviously not something that's going to wash for a town that is mostly Palestinian American in the West Bank, and that is so much in mourning today.
Another violent and deadly incident that's going to get a lot of scrutiny. All right, Matt Bradley for us from Tel Aviv. Matt, we thank you for that. We're going to come back in a moment, back here at home with the Menendez brothers interview from behind bars. They're opening up about what they hope their lives will be like if they are released.
I'm beginning to like myself, be proud of myself, and find it okay to like myself. You never know how long you've been blessed to be on the earth, so we don't just sit around waiting for something.
That was Eric and Lyle Menendez showing signs of hope, speaking exclusively to TMZ in a phone interview from prison. Their first interview of that type in decades. The interviews are part of a new documentary that also features their lawyer, the detective in their case, family members, and more. Up next for the brothers, a hearing on Friday when Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman will ask a judge to withdraw a resentencing request for Lyle and Eric. He says their best path for freedom is through California Governor Gavin Newsom, who could grant their clemency. According to the governor, that decision will be made following a parole board hearing on June 13th. Joining us now here on Top Story, TMZ's Harvey Levin, who did that interview with the Menendez brothers. Harvey, we thank you for joining us tonight here. There's been a lot of hype around this interview, around this documentary. What are viewers going to learn?
Well, I'll give you my personal take on this, Tom. Back in the day, I covered both trials when they were tried in Los Angeles. I was a local reporter here. And my impression of them was they were spoiled brats. They were monsters. And when I heard the sentence, I thought, that's about right. 35 years later, my impression is that they are fundamentally different people now. They are thoughtful. They are introspective. They're remorseful. And maybe the biggest thing is the way they've spent their time. They had, until recently, they had no chance of ever seeing freedom. Yet, they started a hospice program, a suicide prevention program, green space program. They counseled inmates on rehabilitation, getting them out. They got advanced college degrees. And again, they had no possibility of getting out. They did it for self-improvement. They are different people now.
Harvey, for viewers that haven't followed their lives, right, while the brothers have been in prison closely, what kind of life do they plan to lead after prison? Because I know this is part of your interview. We know they're both married.
Well, it looks like Lyle's marriage is over, but Eric is married, and he plans on reconnecting or connecting really with his wife. They got married while he was in prison, but they both want to continue the work they've been doing while they've been behind bars. And Eric especially has a real passion for dealing with childhood trauma. People who have experienced it, and when you listen to him, I mean, he seems to want to make that his life's work. And Lyle, too. But Eric was just so passionate about it. So, again, I was really taken by the change, the seismic change that I saw back then and now.
Change is interesting, right, Harvey? Because things have changed a lot over the last 6 months for the Menendez brothers. When the Los Angeles DA Hochman first discussed withdrawing the motion, he's the new DA for our viewers who may remember, from the DA's office to resentence Eric and Lyle, he spoke about them apologizing. Here's what he told me, Harvey.
What we pointed out in an over 87-page filing is that when it came to self-defense, the defense where they said, in essence, that they believed their parents were going to kill them the night of August 20th, 1989, when they murdered them with 12 shotgun blasts to the face, to the back of the head, and through the kneecaps to stage it like a mafia killing. We said that they have not ever accepted in over 30 years the fact that that self-defense was a lie.
So, Harvey, this is really important here because I know you just mentioned remorseful. And when you said that, my ears perked up, right? Because this is going to kind of be the make or break moment. The DA now says, listen, they've never apologized for lying. They claimed that they thought their dad was going to kill them. That was their first offense. Later, we learned about the molestation and everything else, and that became part of the bigger story and the narrative now that we all know. So my question to you is, are they aware of the situation they're living in right now where they have a DA who's not too friendly?
Yeah, they are. And, I will say that I think what the DA is missing is that during the trial, when they were cross-examined, they were specifically asked about all those lies, and they fessed up to them. So they are remorseful. I mean, look, this crime is horrendous, and they acknowledge that. I will say, Tom, that there is a hearing on Friday, as you said, but I don't think this hearing is particularly important, with one caveat, because if they just get resentenced, all that means is that it goes to the parole board, but it's already at the parole board, as you said, because the governor sent it there. So,
but
in
now,
a way,
okay, now this leads to my next question, Harvey. You set this up perfectly. Are they aware also of the politics at play? Because it feels like Governor Gavin Newsom wants to run for president. It feels like he may be trying to change his own narrative there in California. The climate has changed since the election. Are they aware of all these things? Because a once friendly governor may not be the same governor now.
Well, they're aware. What strikes me about Gavin Newsom, yeah, he is going to run for president. That's pretty clear. People are divided right down the middle on whether they should get out or not. So this is a divisive issue. And I am shocked that Gavin Newsom took it upon himself not just to sit it out and wait for the court to decide, but he's jumped the gun and he has now given it to the parole board. If the parole board comes back to Newsom and says they are rehabilitated and they don't pose a danger, it seems pretty obvious to me he's going to let him out. That defies the political calculus that we've seen with Newsom and many other politicians to take a stand on an issue where half the country is going to disagree with it.
Yeah, but I mean, even in California, we're seeing it with DAs getting elected, with mayors getting elected. Soft on crime is not a good look anymore. The times have changed with the country. I'm just saying they may swing back, but you have to wonder the political calculation. Before we go, Harvey, I do want to ask you, are you shocked we're still talking about this case? I mean, you talked about being a local reporter. You came up in that time when there was court TV and courtroom dramas. This is all around the same time as OJ, and we're still talking about these men decades later.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are certain cases that just stay in the public consciousness. The Manson family, the Unabomber, O.J. Simpson. There are certain cases where you have elements of, fame and, being rich and successful, and you have violent murders, and it's almost like a real-life soap opera, and people latch onto it. Ryan Murphy latched onto it in the docudrama, and that resonated with a lot of people. So I'm not shocked because there are just these certain crimes that don't go away.
Harvey, congratulations on landing that interview. It's an interview that any journalist in America would want. I'm looking forward to your documentary and the things we're going to learn about this case. We thank you for being on Top Story tonight.
Really appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
You can catch more of the documentary. TMZ presents the Menendez brothers, the prison interview on Fox tonight and Hulu tomorrow. I'm Tom Llamas here in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.